So I got Christie here during a speech with evangelical activists hammering Trump pretty hard, as he's continued to do with varying levels of success. But we'll go ahead and jump into the clip here.
Prep in 2020. Why am I running for president of the United States? I'm running because he's let us down. He has let us down because he's unwilling. He's unwilling to take responsibility for any of the mistakes that were made, any of the faults that he has, and any of the things that he's done. And that is not leadership, everybody. That is a failure of leadership. And you can boo all you want. But here's the thing. Our faith teaches us that people have to take responsibility for what they do. People have to stand up and take accountability for what they do. And I cannot stand by. And as soon as I've started to be critical, after all of that, and after you offered me White House Chief of Staff, now what he does is call me names and belittle me. And I will tell you,
Wow. So you guys had to have heard the crowd reaction. We had people that were booing, going Trump, Trump, Trump. Other people in the crowd that were clapping, and others that were, I'm sure, were sitting there awkwardly stunned at what was happening. This just really goes to show that the GOP is in disarray, and Trump's the solidity of his support, even in the GOP, is just not what it was in 2016. And the fervor and the admiration that he received in 2016 from the Republican primary voters, it's just not there, okay, amongst voters generally. Among his base, the 35% that would jump off of a cliff for him if he told them to go do it, they're still supporting him very, very much so, of course. And they'll still be there to vote and to donate and whatnot. But very interesting response here that, we have people that are booing, people that are cheering, and they're all supposedly in, the same team. It just doesn't really, to me, indicate a strong Republican opposition to Joe Biden. And whereas the Democrats are largely unified behind Joe Biden, okay, yes, you have people pop up out of the woodwork here and there to criticize and to say that he's too old and that they want somebody else. But largely, generally, Biden has the support of the establishment Democratic Party, and that hasn't floundered really at all. And ever since the 2002 midterms, in which the Democrats performed way better than anybody was expecting, I've been hearing and seeing less and less and less calls for Biden to be primaried or for somebody else to run. But in the GOP side, you can't say that the same thing is happening. In fact, you have more and more people joining the race, it seems like, every week. So we'll move on here to the next clip of Christie, where he is leaving the event that we just saw the previous clip from. And he talks about how the former president is either a liar or an idiot. So let's watch this together.
Full of faith in.
It's gonna make me play an ad. Skip.
In that room who want to hear the truth. And look, guys, we can't pretend that Donald Trump is a man of character. This is a guy who paid off a porn star. This is a guy who has regularly lied. This is a guy who's abused people who have worked for him. I mean, I consider myself, now that he's taken off on me, I'm happy to be with Rex Tillerson and with Jim Mattis and with John Kelly and with Mark Esper and with Bill Barr, who he called a gutless pig. I mean, this is not character. And what I was trying to make sure I emphasize to those folks in there is, if we are people of faith, the absolute, one of the cornerstones of faith is character. And it is an absolute lack of character. This guy offered me White House Chief of Staff, and then was on a podcast yesterday saying he never trusted me. Well, what does that make him? A liar or an idiot? It's one or the other. Because if you offer me Chief of Staff and you never trusted me, then you're an idiot. And if you did trust me enough to offer me Chief of Staff, then you're a liar. Either way, I don't think that's the kind of person we want behind the desk in the Oval Office. And I came here to this organization today because I respect them. I respect every one of the people in that room who are there because they care about the country and they want to elect the best person they can. But I'm not going to come here like other candidates will and pander to them. I'm going to say exactly what I think. I knew there was a lot of Trump fans out there, and I knew I was likely to get booed. But you know what? I guarantee you one thing. I made every person in that room think today. And that's part of your job as a leader, is not to tell them what they want to hear.
Wow. So, Christie taking a pretty hard stance here. Oops. Stop that. Against Trump, you know, there's no other Republican that's even coming close to hitting. And personally, in some alternate universe where there is no Democratic candidates to vote for in the 2024 election, and I had to pick somebody to side way right things, he's taking the right angles of attack, and like he said, he's trying to make people think, and where they just follow him no matter what, and point out that there are other options. We don't have to just go along with Trump. There's other options. I think it's a really succinct point to make, to say that, well, he offered me White House Chief of Staff, so why would he offer me a White House Chief of Staff if I'm such a bad, terrible person now? He trusted me he told me he trusted me in the past. Well, is he lying about trusting me, or is he lying that I would have made a good White House chief of staff? You know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't quite all add up. And Christie is exactly right to call out this hypocrisy. Christie would be getting my attention right now, and that Christie is far down in the polling. It really shows how much the Republican Party, quote unquote, is not much of a Republican cult following based around Donald Trump. And if you don't follow all the cult demands to a T, well, you're a rhino, and you don't have any use or any say in anything in the party. Yeah, in a traditional healthy party, Christie would be doing much better in the primary than he's doing, and we'll see if his continued hammering of Trump has any effect. I don't necessarily think it will stop Trump from getting the nomination, but it'll be really interesting to see. Debates, fingers crossed. Please let there be debates. Great entertainment. I would love to see Christie and Trump on a debate stage together. Man, oh man, would it be freaking fireworks.